fight fans, here we go. Now in the cage, 3 rounds of mixed martial arts in the middleweight division, presented to you by SparStar Promotions. This bout is sponsored in part by Hood Stocks. Introducing our referee in charge of this bout, George Gallegos. And now, introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he is training out of Flying Kicks in Northridge by way of Carson, California. He weighed in 169 pounds. Tonight, he is making his debut. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Elijah the Prophet Cowart. His opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing green and blue trunks. He is training out of Tracy Hess Subfighter in Lakewood by way of Orange County. He weighed in 180 pounds. Tonight, he is also making his debut. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Omar Santoyo. All right, fans, here we go. 3 rounds of mixed martial arts in the middleweight division.
All right, so a few things to just note here. First and foremost, Omar, about a year ago, had a weight loss journey that brought him down from 237 pounds. He is currently fighting at 180 right now, so that in itself is a huge achievement.
Impressive, good for him.
Now, it means he might have some hidden power to him as well.
Yes.
So just be wary of that, everybody.
Yeah, losing that weight on, typically you'll keep the power and strength of the frame that you had to have to carry that weight. So curious to see if that will play a factor here. Oh, both guys looking to connect on the feet. And we got Omar fighting southpaw. And so, man, I think he got clipped there a little bit. Elijah with some good shots.
Elijah's very careful about his shot output. He's making sure that he is making them count each time.
Yeah.
And his movement is very solid right now.
Yeah, and Omar trying to run Elijah down and throw these short shots, but Elijah with very good movement, backing up and keeping his head safe. Oh, and a little bit of a low blow there.
It's going to take a moment. Let's give him a few seconds to go and recalibrate here.
Yeah.
While we also take a second to appreciate the fact Elijah's movement looking very solid. He is sticking and moving very, very well. So that is something to keep in mind here. Now, one thing that always kind of gives me a little hint here, John, if in your fighter photo you are wearing a grappling rash guard, like a tatami, grappling rash guard.
Looked like a brown one, too. Potentially a brown belt.
Makes you think to yourself,
grappler,
this dude might have some grappling on him.
Yep.
So just saying.
Nice kick, and we're restarting again on the feet.
Nice kicks there.
Yeah, and I like this. Omar looking to, close that distance a little quicker, a little more urgency. Oh, and beautiful takedown off of a tight waist. That was really interesting. He didn't drop down to the legs. He just used that upper body control. Took him down more like Greco-Roman style. Steps over into mount. Elijah trying to go to 4 points or turtle here. But, and here we go. Omar going on that arm. Now going after the leg. Great transition. He's got to watch out that he doesn't get hit in the face while he's on the ground. Of course, no heel hooks here. Yep. They're wearing the shin guards. It's amateur MMA. So
the hardest part of this is looking at it and knowing, man, there are so many options if you had the ability to finish these reaps with a heel hook or to even go to knee bars. Are knee bars legal at amateur here, John?
Especially with the shin guards, I'm a little bit iffy. Oh, good wrestling there. Coming out in the end of the backside and using that leg to come out and then taking Elijah down. Really good control from Omar. He's been putting in some work with his wrestling. Really nice stuff, and that's going to end round number 1. Great exchanges there.
You know, if there was ever a moment in that reset that really worked for Omar, it was a recalibration of, okay, you could feel his strikes. You could feel how well Elijah was working with the way he was working on a stand-up. So then you go straight into your bread and butter. You go into where your gold is. You go into your wrestling. You go into your jiu-jitsu. Gets the takedown fairly well. And even though Elijah's movement, even on the ground, very, very fast, very, very efficient, Omar was right on top of him that entire time. So he took what could have been a losing round and may have turned it around to kind of pick up that one. So credit to him. Now, if you're Elijah, you're going to definitely want to try to avoid these takedowns. You're going to want to keep some of your distance, and you got to want to be weary of that ability. Now you got a taste of it. You know he wants to go straight to mount, and he is willing to take your back if you give it to him from there. So just be very cautious on that. I think we found out where the strengths are for both these two fighters. And again, it's part of the compelling thing that makes us want to watch fights, John. We're going to have to see how it happens in the second round of action.
And here we go, round number 2. And I like that adjustment that Omar made, because he was getting tagged up a little bit before that low blow from Elijah, and I think Elijah's speed caught him out of sorts. So making that adjustment and then closing the distance and getting Elijah to the ground, I think this is a really smart idea from Omar, because Elijah is very quick and had some good strikes already tagging Omar early in that first period.
And John, keep in mind, what also set up that takedown was he was also going for some leg strikes right there. So when he was able to combine those two things together, he was able to put together a very nice takedown. So you saw the evidence of the very beginning of this round with him starting with a couple leg strikes, but now keeping his hands down a little bit more. It got caught and tagged there. That did look like a very good strike from Elijah. And again, seeing the rush on the takedown as an immediate reaction to that will tell you, I think he realizes he's got to get back on game plan here.
Yeah, and I still like that from Omar. He tried to punch once or twice and then just, another low blow. Oh, this was a bad one.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He tried to close that distance after throwing like 1 or 2 initial punches and then just clinch or go to the legs on that. Elijah, being very fast, was able to keep Omar away, so it didn't work out for him there. Perhaps needs to have a little bit of a better setup or get Elijah coming in while he's doing this. But, yeah, unfortunately, then throwing that low blow, it's just
let's put it this way. Even the people in the background are concerned. You can kind of see the caustic look of people in the background just going, yeah, bud, I feel for you.
We didn't have the best angle on that one. To me, it looked like a hard body kick, but the fact that it could have landed in the – oh, yes.
Don't worry, John. We've got it for you.
Yep.
So don't worry. If you didn't see it, we're going to show it to you 3 more times. Thank you to our wonderful crew, our production crew, for not missing a beat there.
Wow. Yeah, that was a bad one.
You know what? You know what's great is we could call for a lot of audibles here, but instead we wanted to put the America's Funniest Home Videos test out. And we're like, nut kicks? Don't worry. Got them on a plenty for you guys.
Multiple camera angles.
Guy gets hit with football.
Yep. And here we go. Restarting it. Elijah's looking like he's still moving pretty quick, so I believe he's recovered.
And the tough part for me here is,
okay.
Ooh, nice. Very careful. Watch the hands.
He's got to watch out. He's coming in with his hands low.
Well, I was wondering this, John, if you're worried about the kicks on where they're landing, that was really what was helping to set you up in the first part. So you don't want to lose that as part of your repertoire, but you also don't want to get a point deduction here. So I think if you are Omar, you're weighing these options very carefully, but he did connect there right on the button.
Yeah, it was a good left straight.
Very nice combination there by Omar, looking very nice. So we're going to see how this lands on out, but don't leave your body open there. Elijah has been very quick to react on a lot of these moments.
Yeah, interesting too. Omar now looking to, or at least feeling more comfortable switching stances. He'll do it. He'll throw that left and then step in and switch his stance, go to orthodox with that left step in. And then he's using that to either set up 1 or 2 more strikes or go right to the grappling. And I think that's a good way. A lot of people, when they change stance like that, it's typically not very good. And they leave themselves open and they can get countered by a good striker. But if you're using it as just like a way to change the angle and then close the distance and get it to the ground, this sometimes can be a really good way to do that and confuse your opponent and take away some of their offense for countering.
I want to point this out right now, which is that if you're looking at Elijah, he looks very tired, and that is concerning for somebody whose movement has been so good. You have to stay so light, and it is so difficult to do. But his movement was such a key asset in that first round. So if you start to get a little bit tired here, it's understandable, but something that you hope happens, maybe you get tired after the fight. So if you're Elijah, you want to make sure that you are choosing your shots just as well as you did in that first round. And if you're Omar, you almost kind of want to stay consistent with what you're doing, but another takedown would probably give him a very good start to the beginning of this round. So we'll see what happens here as both these gentlemen starting off on the feet once again. Elijah trying to find his angle, seeing maybe if he can connect once more. He gets blocked there. Excellent work by Omar in reading that one. Again, I think now Omar has a little bit of his timing in terms of how he wants to maybe block some of these shots. He's seemed to slip out of a couple of them, which has been very, very productive for him. The problem is, how long can you keep doing that?
Yeah, I mean, Elijah is really quick, but he did get tagged with a left from Omar. So even as quick as you might be, it's still dangerous. You got the other guys still sitting in the pocket throwing haymakers. It's potential you could get caught with one. There's always a puncher's chance, even if your movement's really good, right?
Yeah.
Having said that, I think Elijah that's his strong suit, and I believe that this is his key to victory if he can stay in this stand-up war.
So just a question to you, John. I'm wondering if Elijah's working off this counter. I think he's trying to let Omar lead on the stand-up here. It was a very opportunistic ability to make that takedown not happen.
Yeah. Omar, I mean, last time we saw him where he had hands around the body, he was able to take it down, even though it was just a tight waist. I think he didn't even have his hands locked, and he was able to put Elijah down. And here, not the case. So a good adjustment from Elijah.
But I want you to just take a look at how, if you're Elijah right here, you're letting Omar try to start off the attacks. And I think he is trying to counter when he can find the right position. So just look here. You're watching. Swats here. Beautiful read. Slips.
Oh, good jab from Elijah. That was clean.
And now he's trying to make the movement work for him. He's still on the back foot, but he connects 2, 3 times. Oh, wait.
And that's it.
That is going to be the end of that round. You know, I got so caught up in the last few seconds, I didn't even know we finished the fight there,
Yeah, that
John.
one went fast.
Wow. Good job, guys.
Exciting fight.
Very good. You know, hey, listen, the nice part about that fight is Omar looked very solid in that first round. Definitely got that takedown. Looked like that could have been a very different fight from there on in. And yet, Elijah stayed the course, very much in it. That third round found a few of those slips, especially toward the end. So, again, this is where the judges come into play, and we'll see how they interpret this fight.
Yeah, curious to see how this one goes. I mean, Elijah, for the most part, dominated the striking, but Omar, when he could close the distance or start to get it to the ground, did very well there. But even on the feet, Omar was still able to find some success. So be curious to see how the judges score this one.
The very interesting thing about Omar's variety is that he had a little bit of everything. He had a nice punch in that second round that looked like it was one of the more impactful moments from there. The first round he has the takedown. And maybe you could argue the third was very much more of an Elijah showcase. So then it becomes down to an interpretation of how they were able to look at significant strikes, control, and, man, I think we were lucky that we didn't see another kick to the lower region, because if that had happened, I think we could have been at a very hectic fight result there. But
yeah, just not the way you want to see a fight ended ever, too.
No.
But, yeah, luckily that wasn't the case, so now we're just going to wait for the official decision to come in.
Looks like the official decision is being mailed in by a pigeon carrier.
Carrier pigeon, yes. Yep. It's they switched from the Pony Express, and now it's coming in. We got those newfangled telegraphs. So
the Pony Express had a really bad union. They really didn't get the deal they wanted. So back to pigeon carriers. So we wait here, and I always tell people this: no matter what, the longer you wait, the worse you feel as a fighter. You want that result almost as soon as you're done.
Yeah, I mean, whether win, lose, or draw, even if it's close, this part is just anxiety filled, and there's it's just an uncomfortable place to be from either fighter. So just get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, and let's see what the scorecards say.
You know, normally this is the moment when they walk in and they hear what we were saying and they go, you know what, that's a good idea, John. Here's the result. Not so much the case here.
No, but this one was a little bit interesting. So you know, probably a little bit of a deliberation, tallying some strikes here, and here I think we finally have the decision.
All right, let's find out the result right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to our scorecards. We have our decision. Judge at cage side, Don Howard scores the bout 30-26 in favor of Cowart. Although he was overruled by judges cage side Carlos Schaud and Michael Bell, who both scored the bout 28-28, a majority draw.
That might be, I can't remember the last time I called a draw. This might be the first one that I've commentated for SparStar. So, anticlimactic, but maybe the right call. I mean, this is, you hate to see it, but both fighters did well in their respective game plans, and so it was very close.